Everyone's talking about intermittent fasting like it's some magic weight loss cure, but 90% of people are doing it completely wrong and actually making their health worse. I'm about to expose the truth that the fitness industry doesn't want you to know. Welcome back to KB Blue Tree, where we cut through the hype to give you real, science-based health strategies that actually work. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into intermittent fasting, but not the oversimplified version you see all over social media. Obsessive thoughts about food or regained weight after stopping? This video is going to explain exactly why that happened and what you should be doing instead. We're going beyond the basic, don't eat for 16 hours advice to understand how intermittent fasting actually works and who it works for. Here's what most people don't realize. When done wrong, it can destroy your hormones, wreck your social life, and leave you more obsessed with food than ever before. If you're curious about whether intermittent fasting is right for you, or if you want to optimize your current approach, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to KB Blue Tree for more insightful content that goes beyond surface-level health advice. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to determine if intermittent fasting fits your life, how to implement it properly if it does, and most importantly, how to avoid the common mistakes that leave people worse off than when they started. Let's start with the biggest misconception about intermittent fasting, that it's primarily a weight loss strategy. A weight loss can be a side effect. Intermittent fasting is actually about metabolic flexibility. When you focus only on weight loss, you miss the real benefits and often do more harm than good. The 16-8 approach that everyone promotes as the gold standard is completely arbitrary for most people. This timing was popularized by fitness influencers, not based on individual metabolic needs or lifestyle factors. Your optimal fasting window depends on your sleep schedule, work demands, family situation, exercise timing, and hormonal profile, none of which are considered in cookie-cutter advice. The fast longer results faster mentality is destroying people's relationship with food and their metabolic health. When you extend your fasting window beyond what your body can handle, you trigger the same stress response as extreme calorie restriction. Your body thinks you're in a famine, which slows your metabolism and increases cortisol production. Social isolation becomes a real problem when you structure your entire day around eating windows. Can't grab coffee with friends in the morning. You stress about dinner plans that don't align with your fasting schedule, and you become that person who can't be flexible around food. This rigidity often leads to anxiety and social withdrawal. Energy crashes are common, but dismissed as adaptation period, when they're actually warning signs that your approach isn't working. If you're experiencing afternoon fatigue, brain fog, or irritability during your fasting window, your body is telling you that this eating pattern isn't supporting your energy needs. Exercise timing becomes unnecessarily complicated when you're trying to fit workouts around arbitrary eating windows. Many people force themselves to exercise in a fasted state because they think it's superior. The stress of timing everything perfectly often outweighs any potential benefits. Sleep quality often deteriorates when people fast too long or too late in the day. Going to bed hungry or eating large meals close to bedtime both disrupt sleep patterns. Poor sleep then affects hunger hormones the next day, making it harder to maintain your fasting schedule and creating a vicious cycle. The plateau effect hits hard with intermittent fasting because people often use it as an excuse to ignore food quality. You can eat junk food during your eating window and still technically be intermittent fasting, but you won't see the health benefits. Solutions. The first solution is determining if intermittent fasting is even right for you based on your individual circumstances. If you have a history of eating disorders, are pregnant or breastfeeding, have diabetes or other metabolic conditions, or are under significant stress, intermittent fasting may not be appropriate. Start with optimizing your basic eating patterns before adding the complexity of time restrictions. Choose your fasting window based on your natural appetite patterns, not arbitrary rules. Some people naturally aren't hungry in the morning and do well skipping breakfast. Work with your body's natural rhythms instead of forcing it into a predetermined schedule. Focus on food quality during your eating window rather than just fitting all your calories into a compressed time frame. Prioritize nutrient-dense whole foods that provide sustained energy and satiety. If you're eating processed foods and sugar during your eating window, you're missing most of the metabolic benefits that make intermittent fasting worthwhile. The flexibility principle is crucial for long-term success and psychological health. Your eating window doesn't have to be identical every single day. Social events, travel, work schedules, and life circumstances should take priority over rigid fasting schedules. The stress of perfect adherence often outweighs the benefits of the fasting itself. Listen to your body's signals rather than the clock. True hunger, sustained energy, good mood, and quality sleep are better indicators of whether your fasting schedule is working than arbitrary time windows. If you're experiencing negative symptoms, adjust your approach rather than pushing through discomfort. The hydration strategy during fasting windows is often overlooked but critical for success. Plain water, black coffee, and plain tea are fine during fasting periods. But many people become dehydrated because they associate drinking with eating. Proper hydration helps manage hunger, maintains energy, and supports the detoxification processes that occur during fasting. Combine intermittent fasting with strength training for optimal body composition results. The fasted state can enhance fat burning during exercise, but this only works if you have adequate energy for quality workouts. If fasting interferes with your exercise performance, adjust your eating window to fuel your workouts properly. The breaking the fast strategy is just as important as the fasting itself. Start your eating window with easily digestible foods like fruits or vegetables rather than heavy meals. This gentle reintroduction of food prevents digestive distress and blood sugar spikes that can negate the benefits of fasting. The social navigation approach helps maintain relationships while practicing intermittent fasting. Communicate your eating schedule to friends and family so they can plan accordingly. Be willing to adjust your fasting window for important social events. And don't make your eating pattern the center of every social interaction. Track metrics beyond weight to evaluate whether intermittent fasting is working for you. Monitor energy levels, mood, sleep quality, cognitive function, and digestive health. These indicators are often more important than the number on the scale and provide better guidance for optimizing your approach. The meal timing optimization considers your circadian rhythm and daily schedule. Most people do better eating their largest meals earlier in the day when insulin sensitivity is highest and metabolism is more active. Experiment with different meal timing within your eating window to find what works best for your energy and digestion. Consider cycling intermittent fasting rather than making it a permanent lifestyle. Some people benefit from practicing intermittent fasting during certain seasons, stress periods, or health goals, then returning to regular eating patterns. This prevents adaptation and allows for flexibility based on changing life circumstances. The education component is crucial for long-term success. Understand why intermittent fasting works so you can make informed decisions about your approach. Learn about insulin sensitivity, metabolic flexibility, and circadian rhythms so you can adapt your practice based on scientific principles rather than following rigid rules. Success story. Let me tell you about Veronica, a KB Blue Tree community member who struggled with intermittent fasting for over a year before discovering the right approach for her body and lifestyle. When Veronica first contacted me, she had been following a strict 16-8 protocol for 14 months with increasingly frustrating results. Initially, Veronica had lost 15 pounds and felt great on intermittent fasting. But after 6 months, she hit a plateau and started experiencing energy crashes, irregular periods, and obsessive thoughts about food. Instead of questioning her approach, she extended her fasting window to 20 hours. Thinking more restriction would break her plateau, the extended fasting made everything worse. Veronica's energy plummeted, her sleep became restless, and she found herself binge eating during her 4-hour eating window. She was consuming the same amount of calories, but in a compressed time frame. That left her feeling physically and emotionally terrible. Her relationship with food had become completely dysfunctional. When we started working together, the first thing we did was eliminate the rigid timing rules and focus on Veronica's natural hunger patterns. We discovered that she naturally felt hungry around 10 a.m. and preferred to stop eating. By 7 p.m., this created a 9-hour eating window that felt completely natural and sustainable for her lifestyle. We also addressed the food quality during her eating window. Instead of trying to cram all her calories into a few hours, Veronica started eating 3 balanced meals with adequate protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates. This provided steady energy throughout the day and eliminated the binge-restrict cycle she had developed. Within 2 months, Veronica's energy stabilized. Her periods returned to normal, and she stopped obsessing about food timing. She lost the additional 8 pounds she had been trying to lose, but more importantly, she felt in control of her eating again. The flexibility allowed her to maintain her healthy patterns even during stressful work periods and social events. Here's what's remarkable. 18 months later, Veronica still practices a form of intermittent fasting, but it looks nothing like the rigid protocol she started with. Some days she eats breakfast, other days she doesn't feel hungry until lunch. She adjusts her eating window based on her sleep, stress levels, social plans, and how she feels physically. Veronica has maintained her weight loss and improved her overall health markers. But the biggest transformation was psychological. She no longer fears hunger, doesn't panic if she eats outside her usual window, and has completely eliminated the guilt and anxiety that had dominated her relationship with food for over a year. Call to action. Here's your challenge. If you're currently practicing intermittent fasting, take an honest assessment of how it's affecting your energy, mood, social life, and overall well-being. If you're experiencing negative symptoms, give yourself permission to adjust your approach rather than pushing through discomfort. If you're considering trying intermittent fasting, start with the most gentle approach possible. Simply stop eating 3 hours before bed, and don't eat again until you feel naturally hungry in the morning. This creates a natural fasting window without the stress of watching the clock or ignoring hunger signals. Remember, the best eating pattern is the one you can maintain long-term while feeling energetic, healthy, and socially connected. Don't sacrifice your well-being for an arbitrary eating schedule, no matter how popular it is on social media. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to KB Blue Tree for more insightful content that gives you the real science behind popular health trends. Drop a comment and let me know what's been your experience with intermittent fasting. Read every comment and love hearing your stories. The goal isn't perfect adherence to any system, it's finding sustainable approaches that support your health and happiness. Listen to your body, stay flexible, and I'll see you in the next video.